Robbo, a really, really tough day for the Giants. Just, if you can, sum it up.
Oh, look. Yeah, obviously I'm not happy, but I just thought we were beat to the punch. I thought physically they started. Look, it's a very simple game as rugby league sometimes. We sometimes complicate it, but generally when you run harder and you tackle harder, then good things happen for you. When you tackle softer and you run softer, good things don't happen. I thought the way we started the game, well, our transitions were horrendous. We give away 2 or 3 penalties on the 5th and last tackle. So they were coming out of our yardage, which put them on our line. We then give away a drop ball on the 5th and last tackle. We give a penalty away on the first tackle when we're coming out of our 40. We just didn't transition very well. There were periods within the game where we'd do some good stuff defensively, let ourselves down the very last bit, the transition bit. Same with attack, we'd do some alright stuff, but the transition, that moment from attack to defence to attack really hurt us. In these conditions, it can look, I'm really disappointed again. It was 4-0 penalties at half time, and I actually think the penalties he gave against us were right. It's the ones we don't get at the moment. It's the ones that we don't get seem to be the ones I'm a little bit perplexed about. And when you are 4-0 on the penalty count, you are inevitably going to lose field position. I think we didn't. And look, we've got to take some ownership on ourselves. We've got to find a way of making them get a penalty. You know, I know Queensland and New South Wales spoke about it on the other side of the Southern Hemisphere the other week about, generally you get at least one. We've got to force the ref's hand to give us one, because when you don't get any field position. We had 0 good balls in that first half, but yeah, frustrated and disappointed, because the stuff that we've been doing over the last 3 weeks has been really good. That second half league game, the Wigan game in particular, I thought were great, and obviously Warrington I thought were great. So to start in that manner is very disappointing.
Obviously, you touched on there the conditions here today, 37 degrees plus. Do you think that, well, we know it played a factor, but how much of a factor did that play? Do you think there was anything the lads could have done better despite obviously them conditions?
Oh, look, you can always make excuses. Obviously we went into Barcelona yesterday and had a 3.5 hour coach ride to get here. After the 2.5 hour flight, it's an excuse. It's just an excuse. The heat, it's just an excuse. They play in the exact same conditions as us. Them things obviously don't help you, but they certainly don't lose the game. We've got to show mental toughness to get through that. I just thought we put ourselves under so much pressure by giving away penalties and drop balls in them transition phases that we just didn't build any pressure. And because we started the game like that, inevitably they got the penalties, which led to them being in our half and having all the field position, which I think eventually took its toll. I think there were some really, really tired bodies in that first half. But yeah.
Something positive, no more injuries.
Yeah, if there can be some positives out of that game, I think there was a few people that went in with some stuff, but they came out no worse, should we say. So yeah, that's one positive thing. Look, we're going to need as many fresh bodies as we can, because we've got a bit of a, like I say, it's only an excuse, but we've got a torrid turnaround now. We go to Castleford away Thursday night, so it's going to be a real short turnaround for us, where we're going to travel back tomorrow. We've got to get up early tomorrow, really early travel back, and then don't get many sessions in before Castleford, so we need to dust ourselves down pretty quick.
How do you motivate the lads to come back from this with that short turnaround to go to Castleford on Thursday night and get a result?
Oh look, this week is all about recovery. When the trip we've just done yesterday, the trip we're going to do tomorrow morning, the lack of sessions you can get in, it's just more about recovery. And any player worth the salt, if they don't get motivated after that, then they probably don't deserve to be wearing the Giants jersey. Look, the players have been brilliant this year. They've had a lot of obstacles that they've overfaced, and they've been really, really good for the vast majority of it. Very, very rarely have I questioned our effort, our desire. And you know what, I thought there were a lot of effort from individuals within the game again today, but I just don't think that we didn't start with any real purpose and punch and aggression, and it come back to bite us. So look, I don't think I need to motivate them. They know how I feel. The players know how I feel. They know how much I've I think that how great they've been for vast majorities this year, and I've got every faith in them that they'll do the right things to recover mentally to get themselves right for Thursday.
And just finally, a word on the fans. 400, nearly 500 strong, coming over here to support the boys. Just sum up their support today and how much that means to you and the lads that they've travelled all this way to come and watch you.
Look, they've been fabulous. They've been fabulous. They're always fabulous. Our fans. It's always a given, and to see so many of them when everyone complains that we're small in numbers, see so many of them over here making the trip. We're obviously fabulous. I'm hoping they've all had a really good time, and it hasn't left too much of a sour taste in the mouth, that performance, because we owed them a lot more than that today. We owed them a lot more, for them to come over, spend their hard-earned cash and be so vocal. Yeah, and hopefully we can repay that faith again repay the faith on Thursday.